news just broke. Miles Byrd's coming back to the Montezuma Mesa for one more year. Unfinished business. Hashtag. Big news. I mean, unbelievable. So excited to have the young man back and get a chance to develop his skills and put together a team that is arguably one of the best teams, if not the best team on paper that we've ever had going into next year. 2 potential first-round draft picks. Wow. Right? Exciting. I'm excited. You're excited. We're all excited. Tonight, 7:30 p.m. They're letting me back on the podcast. Thankfully, blessed. Talk about it tonight. See you guys tonight. Go Aztecs.
Oh, how'd you like that? Look who's back. Look who's back. Yes. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to an episode of the Sons of Montezuma podcast. Of course, it is your host, Mateo San Diego. And, well, welcome back to the show, Mr. Mike Tortolot. How are you doing, man?
Just blessed to get an invite back. Happy to be back. Missed you guys last week or what it was, but you guys did hold it down like always. So, great news today. Pumped to be back.
Great news. And of course, to you on the screen, my right there, SD Sports Fiend. What's going on, Fiend? How you doing?
So what's going on, man? Amazing news. I am shocked. I gotta say, I did not expect this. So very happy that Miles is coming back, and man, we are just loaded for next year. I mean, how can you not be excited? Come on, as an Aztec fan, this is one of the best days that we've had. This is just amazing off season. I know we'll get into it, but this is one of the best days of the off season. Getting Goon and Byrd back, I'm shocked. Blessed.
Okay, it's a San Diego State miracle, as one Jim Nance said. But guys, we want to thank you for joining the stream. I know this is a little different, right? On a Wednesday night, we're doing this thing, but it's kind of an emergency podcast. We knew this day was coming. We knew tonight was the deadline, 9:00 Pacific time. Miles Byrd, he was either going to stay in the NBA draft, or he was going to come back, and that was the big question. We've been covering it for months, literally months here in this off season. And like you said, Fiend, I mean, we're at that point now. We didn't have to wait all day. I was telling Mike down here in San Diego, it's like May gray, about to get into June gloom. And there was no sunshine today, man. It was like a foreshadowing of how I felt the day's festivities were going to go. And of course, we were talking about Miles Byrd. We were very excited for, regardless of what the outcome was going to be today or tonight, whatever. But we're celebrating. And so this is going to be that kind of an episode, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button before you do anything. We just want to thank you guys for joining us. So here on YouTube, Spotify, of course, follow us on all the socials. This is what is this, Mike? This is our coming into maybe our 4th season doing the basketball Kiss the Rings podcast. I want to say 4th or 5th, something like that.
Because the first year was the tail end of the year before the Final Four year.
Yeah. Okay. So, coming into this year, Fiend, you said it best earlier, man. We are so lucky. We are so lucky to cover this team. This 2025, 2026 Aztecs basketball season is going to be, the hype is real. It's here. And now everybody's going to get on the bandwagon after today's news. We've been talking about this a lot, Fiend. So give me your general feelings today. I know you gave us a little taste of it already, but to get Byrd back on the last day of the deadline.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. I mean, he instantly makes us a top 25 caliber team when you add in bringing back Reese Waters, who was injured all last year and redshirted, and getting Magoon Gwath back from the portal. You got two potential first round picks. You have 3 guys that could be on the all conference team. I mean, definitely the favorites to win the Mountain West, I would say, at this point. And this is a team that is as deep as I've ever seen an Aztec team. And I felt very good about the 2023 team, that they had the potential to make a Final Four run. And that's the feeling that I'm having now about next year's team. I think this could be a team that could make another run to the Final Four.
Very well said. Very well said. You talk about the other components that are coming back as well. And I mean, let's just face it, we were down Reese Waters last year after having just a tremendous first season here on the Mesa previous to that, and seeing exactly his skill set, knowing how important he was. Last year was a lot of question marks, right? A lot of new guys in different positions, taking on bigger responsibilities. Now that everybody's kind of got, I think, those ironed out, you would hope, and we'll get into a little more on the outlook. But today's news is huge because now it's stacked. It's stacked. The team is stacked. Mike, it's been a while. You gave us your little hard in the paint segment. We put that on social. Make sure you guys are following on Instagram and all that good stuff. It was great to hear your comments, your feelings. I think you didn't have any fear, man. Me and Fiend, we're let's be honest, Fiend. Let's be honest. I didn't think Byrd was coming back. I didn't think Miles was coming back. We thought he was gone. We were talking today, this morning. We're like, such and such is pulling their name out. So and so is pulling their name out. I'm sure we'll dive into that a little bit more on how things are gonna even out in the draft. But Mike, I gotta hand it to you a little bit, man. I gotta hand it to you. You weren't sweating the bullets like we were.
Well, it was. What did you say? It was lugubrious down there today, and then the light shined with the bird coming down to save us. So, I just, at this point, it's whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Yeah, here we go. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You can't worry. Worrying about what might go wrong steals the joy of today. Right? Worrying about what could go wrong tomorrow steals the joy of today. So, Bird comes back. Awesome. Fantastic. If he goes to the NBA, awesome. Congratulations. We're pumped for you. The player has to do what's best for him. The coaches need to do what's best for the team. And it's kind of strange because 23-24, the anticipation was off the charts. 24-25, you're like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. 25-26, the anticipation's off the charts. So to get everybody back, you kind of look at Nick Boyd as maybe being like a bridge from last year to this year, and we needed him last year, and we wish him the best at Wisconsin. But we're deeper, we're reloaded. I mean, nobody's really even talking about, Taj and Pharaoh and BJ and Miles, and you add those guys to what we got. And I still think Reese is just, I think Reese is going to have a year, and he takes a lot of pressure off Miles for shooting threes. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to play great together. So it was going to, whatever was going to happen was going to happen. We're like always, we'll be fine, but we're going to be really fine this year.
So fine. Yeah. I don't think it's hyperbole to say that this team could possibly be the best team on the campus at Montezuma Mesa coming up. Now, I get it. Those are big words. And we have a national championship contending team just a couple years ago. And I'll be honest with you guys, I see there's still really big question marks when it comes to this team. It's not a perfect team. They're very flawed in a lot of areas. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. But we'll save that for another day, another conversation. Today, I mean, you have to, like you said, Mike, you got to look at the positive, get excited for all the different things. No matter if Miles was coming or going, this team was going to be in good shape. Now, okay, it's just a different level. It's a different, you talk about potential first round draft picks, right? Just that hype, that buzz. We're not used to that. We're not used to having that here at San Diego State. So, get excited, San Diego. Get excited. I think the returning scoring output that's going to be coming back is going to be pretty nice offensively. I know they had their struggles last year at times, and they're going to have to gel a little bit, right, with some new pieces coming in. But there's just so much talent, so much physical talent, and smarts on the court that's going to be taking the court this year. Fiend, you wrote a good article kind of breaking down this decision and everything leading up to it. Of course, Miles announced on his social media that he's ready to go, unfinished business, ready to go to work. We talked about this decision, everything that was weighing in the balance, the guaranteed money that was possibly there, and just trying out for all the different teams, all the workouts. and really just trying to navigate. I'm sure the Byrd family trying to understand and navigate. Okay, where's he going to fall? Where the chip's going to fall? With this decision, what does that impression leave to you? When it comes to all those factors that we've been talking about.
Well, I mean, I think before the combine that thought was that he was definitely good. Well, I wouldn't say definitely, but definitely leaning towards coming back. I think with the performance that he had at the combine, which surprised a lot of people, especially with his 3-point shooting, everyone knows he can steal the ball. The measurements, the wingspan, the blocks, the instinctiveness on defense, and those things. But to put that together with also the shooting that he did in that combine, I think the thought after, and maybe it was just an overreaction on everyone's part, was that he would be leaning towards staying in the draft, or that he would be moving. And the thing is, he wasn't on any draft boards before the combine, or maybe a few, but he really moved up like draft boards and mock drafts. And then you see him at the Aztec event last night, Dutcher say that he, had worked out for Boston and Phoenix and Brooklyn and Charlotte, who had a couple picks. All those teams had picks either in the late first round or early second round. So that told me, okay, that's where they think he's going to land, because you're not working out a guy that, with that spot, if you think he's going to be like the 40th, 50th pick, in the draft. And so that was my thinking, is that, well, he's really ascended through this process, and he may even get a first round grade, and maybe a promise that someone is going to take him either in the first round or get a second round guarantee contract, which I share with you guys. A lot of those guys in the early second round, they did get guaranteed contracts last year. It's the guys in the mid to late second round that were not getting guaranteed contracts. We don't know what transpired there. We don't know what was offered. We don't know what Miles' priorities were and what he was looking for. Ultimately, it wasn't enough to sway him to stay in the draft. And that's why he came back to State. Look, I was not rooting for him to come back. I was just rooting for Miles, whatever the best decision was for him. I think both you and I, were in that same camp. And we're just happy that he came back, but I did think he was going to go based on what I was just reading, and just my gut feeling was that he was going to go. So big shock, kind of like what with Goon. That was a shock too. So to have both of them back, I mean, this is the best case scenario that San Diego State could have had in the offseason. And it's gonna be a wild year, man. I can't wait.
And not to say Mike wasn't in that camp also rooting for whatever's best for Miles.
I wasn't saying that he wasn't, that he was rooting against him coming back.
No.
I mean, I think
we were the only ones recording.
He was kind of like a neutral. Okay, well, whatever, que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. And we were kind of like, oh, he's definitely gone, So, and we were, looking at flights to Vegas for Summer League, I mean, it still might go for Summer League. It'd be fun, get to see maybe Butler and Jaden Ledee and some of the other players, former Aztecs for life. So, but not going to see Byrd there. We're going to next see him at Viejas Arena, maybe in Swiss League. We'll see. I don't know if he's going to play, but definitely Viejas next year. So that's what we're looking forward to.
Big shout out again. Once, of course, you got to give T-Mac. Got to give D-Mac. Thank you for the super. Appreciate it. T-Mac says, I was not worried. It is great to get Byrd back, and I am happy, but we would be good either way. And I think that is true. I mean, this team is loaded. I think bringing in Latrell was a big get, but you can't replace Byrd. I think what I liked hearing from Ziegler earlier, I think he was on John and Jim, and he was saying how Byrd really has been the face of this team for the last few years. The leadership, as far as vocal, you've seen him. He's putting on so many great performances. He's really the guy who's been there through that Final Four national championship run team, although he was redshirting, but carrying on that team until now. I mean, that's that consistency, that consistent guy that you've been able to see out there who's kind of bridging that gap as far as from that great team back there. So having him along now for this ride, I get it, man. Not worried, but it's just a different vibe now. Different vibe. The vibes are high. Yes. Mike, how are you doing over there, man? You look very, very forlorn over there.
Just like quietly optimistic about this team. They still have to go out and produce. Right. We're excited. We, as San Diego sports fans, it's tough sometimes, man. It really is. You know what I mean? Like we kind of go through stuff, but you get other teams that have stuff, and then they're like, well, you won a championship. We haven't yet. Right. So we have to take everything with a grain of salt, and to get these guys back and get them in and knowing what we have for next year is exciting, but they still got to put the work in. They still got to do what they got to do. You still know now at this point, everybody always guns for us, but I think there's these guys learned how to play last year, but now, I mean, everybody's coming for us, right? Arizona on December 20th. And so it's just an exciting time to get the opportunity to watch this team, to talk about this team. Like Fiend talked about, we're so blessed to be able to do this and to have everybody kind of on this journey with us, kind of on the sidecar of the Aztec basketball, if you put it. But it's just fun, man. Like, you get this opportunity, you get this team, and we haven't even talked about Jack yet, so it's an embarrassment of riches, but you have to spend the riches in the right way to get where you need to get to and where you want to go to. So, and we know our coaches and how they behave and how they coach these guys, and they'll have them in the right spot. But to go from Final Four to who the hell knows what's going to happen and still get to the tournament, then to this, it's a high bar. I mean, Coach Dutch has put a high bar since he's been there. I remember the first year it was like, I don't know, and then he just took off 21 plus wins every year. So it's going to be exciting, man. This is really exciting to see how this team shakes out.
You talked about other teams gunning for us, and yes, they will come for us, but we had a very young team last year, and we took our shots from these fan bases that had very veteran teams coming back, right? And
New Mexico.
Hey, let's just call them out, good, man. The Lobos, yep. Now
Utah State.
They have a good coach, good team, but tables are turned a little bit. We got our guys back this year. We got a lot of experience. And like Miles said on social media, there's unfinished business this year. And like the 2022 team that turned into the 2023 team, they didn't win any championships, right? They got knocked out in the first round. There is a lot of unfinished business, and you can see how hungry these guys are to, go out there and win some championships and start kicking some ass. And that's what I'm really looking forward to as a fan, because, we're as fans, we're talking, our biggest crap when we're really good, right? And last year, some of us, we were just like, okay, kind of taking it right now. Okay, these guys are getting seasoned and they're getting some experience now. Like, the gloves are off, right? Like, we need to go out next year, our last year in the Mountain West, and just punch people in the mouth. Not literally, not like literally the fan bases, but we need to, and I think the fan base is going to be really confident. The guys are going to have swagger. There's going to be so much competition on this team. I am just so looking forward to it. 13 guys that really could get playing time on any other team in the Mountain West. You got 13 guys. We may have to redshirt a few guys. I mean, you talk about that embarrassment of riches that we have on this team, right? The competition is going to be so fierce day in and day out. You're already seeing guys like Pharaoh and Taj, trying to take better care of their bodies. That article that Ziegler put out about them, drinking more water and watching the foods that they eat. These guys are taking it seriously. And so, and everyone's going to have to step up their game. That's the beauty of it. When you have competition, everyone has to step up their game if you want to get playing time. And this is going to be a really, really awesome competitive team to see next year.
Bring up some real good points there. Let's get into some of that talk more in just a second. We're going to take a quick little break, you guys, and then we'll get into some of these good things that Fiend brought up. I like that.
Come on, Darius.
Long way from noodle packs, I got my bag up. Driving foreign with no L, so long you thought I had one. Lil' brother stay with him, you think he has one. When he want niggas not to play with you, gotta make examples. It's like Simon, she do what I say, cause I'm popular. I'm so high up, ain't see you niggas, I need binoculars. She so high up, I was outside before you niggas started popping up. Every pocket knotted up, who was them, they not with us. I just seen niggas try their very best, it's not enough. The last 5 summers, now she had to go, she get a Dr. Benz. Cause I got they bitch inside my camera. I told you I see everything, I'm like the satellite. Bad bitches, I be slaying them, I'm being a samurai. From a place where shit get real, teddy bears and candles.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. A great day for Aztec Nation. Get you hyped up. Absolutely. Right now, guys, this is going to be a chance. You know, we've been doing things a little different. We've been broadcasting the stream on X, Twitter, all that good stuff. Right now, we're going to go ahead and encourage you to come join the chat over here on YouTube, because in a few minutes, we're going to start reading some of the comments and get some of the fans' perspectives. So right now, make sure you guys hop on over to YouTube. We're going to go ahead and shut that feed down on X, because that's what we do. I'm trying to get you guys over here on YouTube. All right, Fiend, Mike, we talked a lot of hype, but I like where Fiend kind of ended off that point there. You know, the guys got to be hungry. A lot of competition. You know, you got freshmen, highly touted freshmen coming in that are going to be fighting for an opportunity. We're obviously a big believer, iron sharpens iron. I mean, this is how great programs continue to get better and, you know, ascend to that championship level. So it's going to be a fun off-season, a fun camp, summer, all that good stuff. But, you know, just for a little bit before we get into the comments and all that good stuff, what are some of the areas that, to me, it's obvious the areas that are going to need to really step up, because there's still a lot of question marks on this team. You know, I saw in the chat, hey, you know, if this team is flawed, I think T-Mac said it, you know, compared to the rest of the Mountain West, I get it. Kicking the Mountain West on our way out of the conference, that should be, like, as Andrew says, routine, as the crew likes to say, that's routine. That's got to be that, you know, that's a given. It's got to happen, right? To play to that level and the expectations this team has. But the expectations are going to be there. This team did not rebound very well last year at all. They had their moments. But there were a lot of growing pains, like you said, Fiend. I mean, it was like a season full of lessons. Young team, taking their lumps, getting those lessons in, taking it serious, nutrition, working out, all that good stuff. You know, you hope that that's going to show come season time. But to me, that's the biggest thing, is rebounding. Now that you got Magoon back in there, okay. The way the season ended, I mean, you can't ignore that. You gotta remember that, you know, as often as possible as that motivation, because that wasn't Aztec level basketball. So it is what it is, but that's my 2 cents. Rebounding, it's got to be just a complete overhaul, team effort. How they do that, I'm not sure, because those big men are very expensive in today's landscape. We're very talented on the wings and on the perimeter. That responsibility on down low on the block is going to be interesting, right? It's not the same game that I'm used to, but to me, that is the issue. That's the eyesore that I see right there. You guys got anything on that as far as meeting those expectations, and where do you see?
Real quick before Fiend gets in a rant, because I can see he's itching, he's chomping at the bit here. I mean, Coach Lester, that like reiterated kind of what I mean. It was obvious. Everybody saw it. Everybody saw it. It's all the same thing. So, when Coach came on and mentioned it, we're like, yeah. I mean, it was apparent, and they took that into consideration with who they brought in and who they needed to bring in, and with I can't remember the kid's name, the forward coming in with, was it Tay?
Ty. Yeah,
Tay
Tay
Simmons?
Simmons.
Yeah.
Tay Simmons.
He's a great rebounder. You're going to get guys out there who is their main focus is rebounding and helping rebounding, and that's kind of get in there in the trenches and stuff. So it's you base next year's team off what you didn't do well the year before, I think.
Yeah, I think rebounding is going to be better next year. Getting Reese helps. You got a guy who's 6'6", who can get in there and gets rebounds. Like you mentioned, Luster brought it up on our podcast that we had with when he came on. He mentioned Byrd kind of turning in a performance like Nick Clifford and really, increasing his rebounds and becoming. Nick Clifford was like a double-double. I think he almost had 10 rebounds a game, and so that is an area that if Miles came back that he can work on is the rebounding. Obviously, adding muscle to his frame, that was probably the biggest knock on him, was he's only 180, 81 pounds. We brought that up on the last podcast. But I think having those two guys really working on the rebounding, and then like you said, it's going to be a collective effort. I really think Odin can be a good rebounder. I like the technique that I've seen on film with him. I like his size. I think Miles, Heidi, Compton, they need to take a step up. Obviously, Guath can rebound the ball. Not having him like at full strength, and having him out for the last half of 10 games of the season or so, I think really affected us. So I think this team will definitely be better at rebounding. I just wonder, like the 3-point shooting, that isn't maybe another area of concern. Like we don't have a marksman that's really over 40%, I don't think. Byrd, when he was healthy, was around 40%, and then he got hurt and it really dipped off, and it was bad by the end of the season. He dipped down to like 30%, I think, by the end of the season. So how he performed at the combine, that's encouraging, and hopefully he can continue to improve his stroke. And then you got guys like Latrell Davis that are good 3-point shooters. BJ Davis, he's going to continue to develop. So there are some weaknesses there. I think also having a guard like Newman who can really distribute the ball is going to find guys open where they're not really going to have to create their own shots. They're going to, he's going to, draw some attention, be able to kick it, and he looks to pass first instead of, like Boyd was he was a good passer too. He had a good assist to turnover ratio, but he was looking to score as well. And so having a guy who's pass first, I think our other guys are going to be a recipient of that. So we'll see. It's there's so much time before the season starts. We'll get a better idea once we get into it. See how they're clicking and where they're strong and where they need to polish up their game moving forward.
And every season is it has its peaks and valleys, so it's going to be real interesting to see how this team comes out of the gate. Of course, last year came out swinging, taking down Houston there in that players era tournament, and of course we're back there again. This upcoming year is going to be really, really fun. Mike, you also mentioned playing Arizona there in Phoenix. That's going to be a treat. So a lot of opportunities for this team to
I want to be at all those games preseason.
Vegas, Phoenix. Since Fiend didn't think Byrd was coming back, I was teasing him. I was saying we're gonna have to make that road trip to Logan. Mike said we gotta make that trip to Utah State and Logan.
Let's do it.
You didn't believe.
Let's just commit now. Let's do it.
What?
We may not walk out alive.
What do you do
with my
there?
whistling.
What do you do in Logan? Like ski? Like what? Let's have a think about that. You know what I mean? Like whatever.
They got
Whatever you
good
guys
ice
want to
cream
do.
in here.
Go to the Dairy Queen, bro. Go to the Dairy Queen.
They don't have a Dairy Queen actually.
They don't
I've
have
seen
a
a
Dairy
lot.
Queen.
No, but they
Seriously?
have their own ice cream, so
Oh.
I heard it's pretty good.
I've seen a lot of blue gloves lately. I don't know what that's all
Mm.
about. Strange.
All right, guys, let's get into the comments because that's what you guys are in the chat. We want to see what you guys are thinking about Miles Byrd coming back. It's big news. Of course, we're super elated. This team is just when you thought the season ended on such a sour note. I mean, it's been one of the best off seasons. Of course, a miracle having Goon back. Of course, getting Mr. Byrd coming back is just it's gonna be something. Bryant, what's going on? Brian Thursby, he says Swish League is gonna be heat this year. That's what we're hoping for. But we'll keep our fingers crossed that we see some of these guys coming in. Swish League, of course, starts June 19th. Well, I gotta plug that in there. Bryant, one of our voices there, of course, with Kev that we had on last week, was it on the podcast with the Swish guys there from Team Hit. So peace out to you, Bryant. Good to hear from you, man. Let's see. I like Vinny. What Vinny says right here is a Cooper Flag declared for the NBA draft just to dodge SDSU basketball. I don't know about all that, but I like the trash talk. I like it. Keep it coming. Keep the trash talk coming, guys. Let's go. Of course, let's see. A habitual line stepper, and I like this. It's been so much fun watching Byrd grow up the last couple of years, and I think that's what I was alluding to, like him being kind of the leader, the face, kind of bridging the gap from that natty team. I mean, that's something that you get to see in college ball is that maturation process, seeing a player come in as a freshman and just their game growing exponentially. It's been a treat, and we're going to get to see that for one more year. It's like when you get to see, a Nathan Mensah or Lamont Butler come in as a freshman and just absolutely grow their game, man. It's such a thrill for a fan to be able to see that. Not many programs get to see that. Not many blue bloods get to see that because either the player moves on either to the pros or they're transferring out in the portal. And it's a great day to be an Aztec because you're going to get to see.
And just the fact that Byrd's coming back, like he could have easily put his name into the portal. I mean, I would guess, look, Mesa did an awesome job. Aztec Nation stepped up. We hit that that $500,000 matching, donation.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was great to see. And our NIL is expanding. It's still not on the level of these blue bloods like Duke. And, we've covered all of that. He could have easily jumped in the portal and, gotten probably $500,000 more. I mean, how many people give up $500,000 to come be an Aztec, right? And same with Goon. I mean, maybe that's a little different situation because they had the surgery and whatnot, but that we have to give them their flowers, man. For coming back and wanting to be an Aztec, wanting to be a part of this, of this nation and in the brotherhood of Aztec basketball. And that's just awesome. I mean, because he could have easily gone somewhere else. And so to have him back, commit to being an Aztec, is just going to endear himself, for decades.
Let's see. Jake Lalome, I want to say, if I'm saying that right. He says Elzy's gonna play, no red shirt. We'll see about Tay. So he's calling his shots with the young freshman coming in. Of course, Elzy, that I mean, this is a highly regarded prep player coming in, and we know his circumstances in coming here to San Diego, his couple different stops, and he came and made those changes. He made those big decisions and landed here at San Diego State. So for a reason. So we'll see, man. We'll see. He's calling a shot. Jake's calling it.
There could be guys that like you think are going to play who don't play because other guys just, raise up their game. And so we don't know. It's going to be fascinating to see who rises to the top.
Mike, look at this from Vinny. What's going on, Vinny? He says, Mountain West Conference is a dumpster fire. New Mexico will be down. UNLV, Fresno, San Jose, Air Force, and Wyoming are dumpster fires. Boise's an unknown at best between what they lost to graduation and transfers. I mean, It's all pretty sound stuff. I mean, I hate to say it, but you already know New Mexico and Utah State, they're gonna be formidable. They're gonna be formidable. I don't care who they have on there. They're gonna bring it.
UNLV has a new coach. They always have talent on paper. They always look good. You always think they're going to be better, and then they it never turns out that way, right? They always underperform. So I think it's just a wait and see on them.
Okay, all right. Utah State, though, man, they're going to bring it. You just know.
Yeah, I think Boise will be good too. I mean, Rice really knows how to recruit, and they've got some really good young core players coming back. I think they'll be competitive.
Joey Zyber, what's going on? Joey says Miles Heide is about to make leaps and bounds. That's my prediction. So he's shooting his shot. Joey's shooting his shot on Miles Heide. So
I agree.
Got to work on both hands.
I agree with that, man, because he started to kind of gel, whatever you want to call it, at the end of the season. Yep. He played very well at the end of the season, so we needed him. And the Mountain West is the Mountain West. We know what it is. It's us, and rotate 2 or 3 teams, whoever's there. There's always a team that plays well, like New Mexico just played really well last year, Boise caught fire at the end. Colorado State caught fire at the end. So we know what we got in the Mountain West. The Mountain West knows what they got in us. And, it's going to be exciting to see when the schedule comes out, but we're just happy that we got our guys back and we got a squad that is going to be really, really fun to watch.
Yes. Oh, okay, Andrew, what's going on, man? He's got a good question here. How many players do you think get 10 plus minutes? I mean, these are, whew. Man, I don't even want to venture to guess because, it's just going to be it's a good problem to have, right? It's a good problem to have when you can look on your bench. If it's not somebody's day or you got a matchup that you want to exploit, pick your poison. This team is going to be that. This team is absolutely going to be that. Who do you want stepping up today? Who do you need to shut down that so and so who's maybe not a starter, but maybe they have a skill set that is ideal for shutting down a certain player or just turning things around. I mean, how many times did we see with Kimo Ferrari this season where things were not in rhythm? You bring him off the bench and it's a spark plug. Every team, you fall into your roles by mid-season, right? You're going to fall into your roles. You're going to figure out, okay, the offense is flowing this way right now, so-and-so is going to handle the ball a little bit more. Or, you got some guys that are just going to be that spark plug. So every team has that dynamic. It just takes a little time to figure that out. Hopefully they'll figure that out early and often. But 10 minutes, oof. I'd say at least
8 plus.
You think 8?
8
plus?
Think 8 plus. Yeah, I think
minimum 8. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to put 12, but just think about with Newman coming in, he's a pass first point guard. Then that opens up other options. That how you gonna okay, so say you have Newman come down, you got Reese on one side, you got Miles on the other side, you got Goon underneath, and so you have, say, BJ. I mean, they can all shoot. They can all shoot, right? I love the mid-game range. I'm really interested to see how Reese comes out this year. I think he can shoot 40% from 3, personally. So yeah. I wanted to ask him if we get a chance to talk to him, is what was the biggest blessing for having to sit out that year? Not because it's always what was the hardest thing? And we know, not playing, we get it. But what was the thing that you didn't realize that you needed, that you got to pivot into this next season?
Maybe growth or something.
Yeah, whatever it was, But we were kind of limited by the options, the opportunities, whatever it was last year. Nick was more of a score first point guard, which is fine. But Newman, who are you gonna guard, man? You know what I mean? It's just going to be really interesting to see how they all fit the puzzle pieces, who plays with who. And we know Dutch screws around with the lineups the first couple months of the season, to be honest. So, how fun is this going to be, man?
We're trying to figure out that puzzle.
I don't get too excited about stuff anymore. You know, like when you were talking about like talking smack to fans, that's a fiend thing, man. I get like we're still gonna go to games, we're different sections, right? But like I'm always just like, all right, cool, man. You know, and then teams beat us. Okay, congrats, good for you, man. You had a great game. But we win so much that it's like, okay, we expect to win. So, but I don't know, man. It's 30. I don't know how many games we're gonna play this year, but 25, 26, 27 plus wins.
Too many in the Mountain West, that's for sure, though. Too many.
So back to that question about the 10 plus minutes. I just wanted to add something. We covered a couple years ago, last year when Battertelli came in, new coach, that he ran at UC Irvine a very deep bench, like 10, 11 guys, and I could definitely see team running a rotation of 10, 11 guys where you're not going to get guys like last year, Boyd getting 30 some minutes. I mean, you're going to get more guys in the 20s and some in the teens. I definitely could see him rotating in and out and keeping guys fresh. And I think that will definitely help for the Mountain West season, where it's such a grind and you're playing at elevation, to keep guys fresher and not worn down. So I'm expecting a very deep rotation with this team. I think we have the talent to do it.
Good point by Vinny. 8 players get the minutes at sea level and 11 at altitude. Kind of piggybacking off a little bit of that same thought frame there. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see the offense, of course. With after the first year with Coach B, get to see what he's gonna do with all these knives in the cupboard. How you want to slice and dice these guys?
Let me ask you this: what were you more surprised about, Goon coming back or Byrd? I mean, equally both, but what would you say what was the one you're like, I didn't expect that?
Well, I was more
kind of right.
I was more surprised with
because
Goon.
he had put his name in the portal, and pretty much when you say you're in the portal, you're gone.
Well, and then Byrd kind of early, he said he's either draft or coming back home. That was pretty early. That was he was a stud for doing that. And then just seeing the way that the years were going, right? You knew Byrd was banged up, and Magoon, we were kind of leaning on him until the injury. So, but man, what can you say? What can you say?
Like that, that's a down year. 21 wins and a tournament appearance. That's a down year, right? Oh, dude, that's a down year for us, right? I was at lunch with this guy today, and he was talking about UNR, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we own you guys in basketball." I go, "Really? Would you like?"
Was that Cody?
No.
Was it Cody?
No, I don't know. I haven't talked to him. But I was like, "Would you like to know your record against us?" And he was like, I told him what it was. He's like, "Oh, so anyways, football." So, but no, he was a good guy. But it was, dude, this is gonna be crazy, man. Like I'm really fascinated to see him, how they, because he got all the guys coming back in summer, right? And you get tidbits here and there about this guy or that guy. So they are going to have some help with, like, Jamal will probably be there. I'm sure DJ shows up here and there, and all these guys show up and they run, they're going to get that experience from playing with those guys too. So, hey, what about this? And I'm sure they all talk. Why wouldn't they? Hey, what about this? How about this and stuff? So the funnel of talent that this team is going to have, in addition to what is around them, is, I wouldn't say the sky's the limit, because you still have space, right? But it's high. It's really high.
Yeah.
All right. What do you guys think, guys? We get to some more comments. Any more finishing thoughts? I don't know. Let's take a little break from the monotony. Let's take a little break from the monotony. We know we're not going to be seeing that. We know we're not going to be seeing that on the court. Oh, look at the Jays, bro. Look at the Jays, man. I came across this earlier this week. I loved it, man. Fiend, I'm going to get you a pair of one of these, man. Get you a pair of one of these.
What would you call those? They're not Jays. They're like,
yeah,
are
they're
they?
not Jays.
You like,
what? Are those knockoffs?
Yes, they're not. Or is that AI?
The tariffs are hitting hard, bro. Tariffs are hitting hard. You gotta come out with these with these new
Who's that
kicks.
silhouette of though?
The guy in that video for that guy.
Like that?
Did he make the shot? Did he make the shot?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, a new ranking came out.
Top 10 colleges with the most attractive people via @SnowBunny University.
You're on that website a lot, Zach.
No, very good.
Arizona.
University of Arizona is number 1.
Florida State.
Florida State is number 6. How do you know
USC
this? How do you know
USC
this?
South
Are
Carolina.
you a frequent visitor?
Those are the girl schools.
Okay. University of South Carolina, the Gamecocks.
Yeah, 100%.
Number 5.
Did I say Miami?
You didn't say Miami.
Miami.
University of Miami, that's number 7.
I'm going to go Alabama.
University of Alabama, that's number 3.
Roll Tide!
What do you guys think of this ranking so far? What do you guys think?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I've been to Arizona. Been to Arizona State. Yeah, I would definitely guess. I mean, just because
Very hot in Arizona. Very
exactly. Yeah. I mean, when we were going to the football game at Arizona, I mean, it was just like chicks in bikinis everywhere.
Yes.
So yeah,
it was. Yes,
So
it was.
yeah,
man.
like I would move Alabama just because Southern girls. You know what I mean?
Bama, Roll Tide. Okay. All right. Continue.
Is Penn State on there?
Penn State is number 4.
I don't know about Penn State though, man.
Penn
I can't
State,
say I've
no
ever been
way.
up there. That sounds like I don't know if I believe that.
This one's going to be
You have
crazy.
to ask John
Boulder.
Schaefer.
University of Boulder, that's number 8. Do you have the list? No. 2 for the most impressive sweep of all.
Colorado Boulder.
Okay.
I could see that. Very athletic, outdoors people. Yeah.
La Granola.
The last two, 9 and 10. What are you guys thinking?
Well, I'm hoping it's San Diego State and
It's got to be San Diego State.
What do you guys think in the chat? Who do you guys think is 9 and
Texas.
10? Who-
Texas.
Texas? Oh,
Yeah, I can see
okay, that's a good
Texas.
call.
Texas,
good call.
yeah.
Joey, no.
Or Florida.
No way Penn State's on that list. Yeah, that's a question for Schaefer. Maybe he'll come on later tonight. You guys ask him that. Ask him that one if he comes on.
All time.
They have to be SEC schools.
There's one Big 10. I know that.
I'm just going to take some guesses to speed up the process here. Is it Ohio State?
It's not Ohio State. Starts with an I.
Iowa State?
University of Indiana.
It's Indiana? Yes, it is.
Okay. And then you have to go West Coast for this one.
San Diego?
San Diego State, that's number 10.
The Aztecs. I did pretty good there.
Sometimes I think I'd be better off dead. No, wait, not me, you. Children need encouragement. So if a kid gets an answer right, tell him it was a lucky guess. That way, he develops a good lucky feeling. Whenever I see an old lady slip and fall on a wet sidewalk, my first instinct is to laugh. But then I think, what if I was an ant and she fell on me? Then it wouldn't seem quite so funny.
I think this is about how I was feeling earlier today before the Byrd news. I was just in my feels. So
You were the ant.
yeah, I wanted to share that.
If God dwells inside us, like some people say, I sure hope he likes enchiladas, because that's what he's getting.
Okay, all right. Enough of that. I was trying to cheer myself up today. I'm telling you, my coworker, we were talking in the break room, and he was like, I don't think he's coming back.
You were that down, really?
See?
I was, man.
See, tomorrow's worry stole today's joy until it came through for you. You know?
Thank you, Miles Byrd. Thank you, Byrd family. Of course, you guys, great family, great Aztec family. Thank you guys for coming back. Yes, absolutely. Oh boy, guys, it's gonna be a fun rest of the off season. Of course, Swish League is coming up. June 19th, guys, mark that on your calendars. Of course, on Monday, we're going to be interviewing a whole bunch of Swish personalities, coaches, GMs, all that good stuff. So this coming Monday is going to be a big show. You guys want to check that out. And we're going to be down there at Lincoln High every Sunday this summer from June 19th to, I want to say, August 3rd or 4th, whatever that last Sunday for the championship game is. So definitely come on down. We're going to have some fun down there. And I don't know what to say, guys. This has been a great off season. You know, whether we keep these up, I'm sure there'll be more developments coming down the road. But you know, things are going to get into football as well, and you know, we're gonna have to talk some things about football, guys. We're gonna have to talk some things about football. Well, minus Mike. We'll give him a pass on that one.
Hey, fun times, great times. Good to be back on the pod with you guys. See you guys through all our text message shenanigans and stuff. But hey, roses are red, violets are blue. Miles Byrd, thank you.
the poet.
Dude, that's it. I'm ending on that. Goodbye. See ya later, guys. Love you guys.
Mike has exited the building, of course. Thank you very much, Mike, for joining us again. It's been a little minute. I like what T-Mac says. When I feel down, I watch. What do you say? I watch the Final Four. Final Four games. Yeah, we might have to do that, man. I was actually thinking about that. We might have to rewatch those games and have a little live stream with you guys and just replay those. Got to build up the hype for this season, man, because I want to go back. That was the one thing you and Fiend, we made that trip, of course. But that was the one thing when we came back, we're like, man, I want to do it again.
Got to do it again.
I want to do it again.
Yeah.
I hope you guys in Houston are watching.
Ever. I mean, you have to be there. It's gosh, that would be so amazing if this team could put a run together like the 2023 team did and get to the Final Four. It is going to be difficult though, because you look at all the guys who are returning because of NIL, because of the dollar amounts. You saw guys like Axel Lendeborg, who went to Michigan, and Alex Condon, who came back to Florida. They just won a national championship. Miles Uzan, he withdrew from the draft going to Houston. All of these blue blood and these big teams got players just stacked. It's going to be so competitive. Very hard to win a national championship. So, hey, we've got a great squad. I think they're up to the task to play those top teams, but it's going to be so difficult to get to a Final Four just because of how many players are foregoing the draft to come back to college, play their junior, senior years. It's kind of like it was back like in the 80s when you had Jordan, play 3 years and Ewing play 4 years. And, for a long time, you did not see that, see these guys leaving really young, but now you're getting these guys very seasoned, very, great college players coming back. So the college game it's just exciting and it's going to be fun to watch all this talent that they're retaining this year. And obviously we retained 2 great ones in Byrd and Goon. So that's
one really good thing about the NIL, right? Is that it's allowing guys to come back. Okay, if you don't have to go to the league, you can come back, make some money, and play in the college game. Strength, like what you're saying, all those players that you used to seeing them playing multiple years for a university, and now you get to see that. Let me ask you this though, dude, because do you think, and everybody gripes about it, especially in football, right? But the transfer portal, if they were to kind of put some safeguards back in the rules, maybe they bring back, hey, you transfer, you got to sit out a year. Maybe they do something like that or something. But if they were to safeguard the transfer portal to where, yes, you can earn the money in the college game, but you got to stay a little longer with that one school. Do you think that would have the same positive effect that we're feeling right now with, the longevity, the continuity with having the guys just in the college game,
I think you would see continuity. I think, though, you would see teams like kind of setting up sort of multiple year deals for guys if those were the rules. And so you're still going to see the teams with the most money accumulate the best talent. And so I'm not sure how they regulate that, if there's some sort of roster cap or something, like they have in the NBA to kind of keep it, a little more fair play and not just a free market like it is in baseball, where the Dodgers and the Yankees are playing in the World Series and going far in the postseason every single year because they have the biggest payroll. So I'm not sure. That I think that there were also some deals that were made this year in advance of that house settlement, where there's some expected to be some rule changes and stuff. And so maybe that's why more guys came back this year for big dollar amounts, because they're getting those contracts in before the settlement. So we'll see. I'm so happy that SDSU is remaining competitive in this landscape, and hats off to our coaches, man. They work so hard recruiting. We talked to Lester. They hardly get a break, during the year. They're constantly on the phone and contacting their guys, recruiting their guys to come back, and recruiting, other guys to come to state. And so you can't, just so proud of them and the work that they've put in, and it's really paid off this year. We got a solid core of guys, and like I said, the transfer portal couldn't have gone any better for us this year.
And on that, I think that's a good way to end this show because, man, we are got to keep that power of positivity going. That means all you fans. So when the Mesa Foundation has another fundraiser, another program, we got to get on it. Show these players appreciation because they made those decisions to come back to state. When we put out the gear for the players, support it. It goes directly to the guys. You know, it's something that this community, Aztec Nation, is we really need to rally around and continue to support those that are putting that NIL opportunities out there. And of course, things are going to shake out, like you said, Fiend, house settlement, all that good stuff. Things are going to continually evolve. But you know, this community special, Aztec Nation, you guys are a big part of it. Why you guys created atmosphere for these fantastic guys to come back. So very happy for it. Guys, want to thank you for joining the stream wherever you're watching. If you're listening to the audio version on Spotify, maybe you're at the gym or you're walking the dog or doing whatever you got to do. We thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back with more episodes coming up. Of course, more football episodes, but Swish League next Monday. Check it out. And we'll see you guys very soon. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Have a great night. Go Aztecs.
Thanks for tuning in. Go Aztecs.
See you guys.